Hey, Shalom, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakarium, Shal Yasha Allah. There's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. And if you're not waking up, with this truth on your mind, and you're not ecstatic, overwhelmed with joy about what's happening, I don't know what to say. And these videos ain't for you. These lessons, these prophecies, this ain't for you. Because the confusion that's happening on planet Earth is all leading to the return of Yahushua and the freedom of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the Lord's elect. Beginning with this 144,000. This is all knowledge that's given to the special ones. You're special if you know this. You've been chosen. We know that we've been called, but the final choosing will happen at the end. But we've been called into something. We're not just wasting time with these videos, with all this news and putting the prophecies together. You're not wasting time. Something is being built here, something is being done. So if you ain't waking up, despite the hell, the money you ain't got, right? The respect you think you deserve in America right now, right? Put all that worldly stuff away and look at what the Lord gave you with this understanding where we at right now. We understand the signs of the time. We understand what's going on. We understand Babylon. We understand the kingdom of heaven. We understand what's about to happen before it's happening. Why these people are going crazy. They really about to flip out when the Lord sealed the deal, but he's giving us an alley-oop. The Lord is assisting us as we go into Jacob's trouble. Because you would look at guys like this, Paul, this is a prepper. This is a prepping channel, off-grid desert farming, as well as a lot of these Canadian preppers, War News 24/7, NY24, all these guys, these are preppers, but they don't know the meat and potatoes of the situation. They just think it's going to be, a war, a nuclear bomb will be used, but we can recover, and we're going to retreat to our bunkers, and we're going to settle into our canned goods and our prepping equipment, and then we're going to come back out and we're going to rebuild, a new Babylon. We're going to establish, a new America. This is what they think. Not knowing the seals, not knowing the prophecies. The Lord gave that to us. So this is serious. I'm going to play this video because I want you to hear what Paul got to say. This is about knowing the times and the seasons right now. We know where we stand. And that's very important to know where you at. It's like somebody been in a coma for 5 years and they just wake up in the middle of a desert. Shit, you might as well put me back to sleep. Where the hell am I? What happened? Where did I come from and where I'm going? That's these people right now. They like standing in the middle of the desert. Everything is unfolded and they looking like, well, what the hell just happened? It was just 2015. Everything was just going great. I just got my life together. Now all this is happening. These people are lost. But the Lord gave the understanding to us. This is Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heavens. So to everything there is a season. We're just going to go into this word season. This is the Hebrew.
Strong's H2165. Zaman.
You got kind of close. It's Zaman. This is a za, a ma, and that's a final na. Okay? Zaman. That's how you pronounce that, which is a set time, appointed time, a time. And when you go into Habakkuk, you're going to come right back here Because we are in a set time, man. And watch the statement that Paul is going to make here, man. Proving they know what's going on, but they can't put their finger on it. You know, this is Habakkuk 2:1. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision. Now we in a time of the vision. The visions are the prophecies here. And make it plain, man, easy to be interpreted by those who got the Holy Spirit upon the tables, which is this book, that they may run. And when we read this, it gets us going. You know, these scriptures, you know, the Spirit stirs us up that readeth, because we can read with understanding. So we do the running. For the vision, these prophecies, is yet for an appointed time. And you see the definition of a season. A season is an appointed time. A set time. A set time that he can't cross. Esau can't cross. So the vision is for an appointed time. But at the end, this is how we know we at the end. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. So we have a more sure word of prophecy. Everything is coming to pass. Though it tarry, you know, there was hundreds of years in between some of these prophecies. But now it's here. Wait for it. What's that, Zephaniah 3:8? Wait upon the Lord. Because it will surely, we have a more sure word of prophecy. The Lord said it will surely come. It will not tarry. These prophecies is not playing games. This is happening. This is going down. It says it will surely come. This is Matthew 16 verse, I'm gonna start from verse 2. He answered, this is Yahushua speaking to the Pharisees. He answered and said unto them, when is it evening? Ye say, it will be fair weather, right? For the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. You hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky. I mean, they can read the weather, right? They can do all this in the morning and the nighttime. They can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times. So we in the spirit of discerning the signs of the times, meaning knowing what season we're in right now. It's very important to understand what season you're in. This is the root word for season, right? Zamana, again, it says, to appoint a time, be fixed. So we on a fixed time. Be appointed. To be fixed, a fixed time, an appointed time, a particular time. A time where Esau cannot cross. We're going to get right to this video, you know, because I want y'all to hear what Paul got to say. And there's no denying what's going on now. People are facing it, you know. And I asked Chat GBT something too. This is Job 33 verse 14. For Yahweh speak once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. And no, that's not it. Salakia. That's good, but that's going into something else. This is Job 14 verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, right? Well, when you read the first few verses, of course, it's going into the lifespan of a man. But the Lord is breaking it down to, just like you don't know when your day is going to end, it's been determined before you're born, so is rulership. It's the same way. So we can use this for Esau in his time, in his day when it's about to end. You know, his season. It says, seeing his days are determined. So your days already been determined aforehand. The number of his months are with thee. When the Lord started you up, you know, when you go into Revelations, the 20th chapter, when he let you out that lower estate. The Lord already knew when he was going to end you. The Lord wrote the ending with the beginning. That's in Isaiah. So your days are determined. The number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed the bounds that he cannot cross. That's his season. That's his time. So Esau is set. This war is set. The MOTB is set. Everything is set at a time, and the Lord will not miss his mark. You can't cross it. The Lord ain't going to skip like, oh yeah, we supposed to have released the MOTB yesterday. I forgot. That's not how this works. We see the season. We're not just discerning the weather. We're discerning the time that we in. So when you hear statements like this that you're going to hear Paul make, they're perplexed. They don't understand fully on what's going on. When are these bombs going to be shot? But they're sure that nuclear war is inevitable.
So we're going to try to cover the breaking news. The headline is World War III begins. Actually, World War III began 3 years ago. World War III began 3 years ago when Russia attacked Ukraine. It is not accelerated to a nuclear level yet, but it is about to. We are about to witness a nuclear war between NATO and Russia very, very soon. And I'm not the only analyst telling you this. Canadian prepper, New York prepper Steve Quayle, Colonel Douglas McGregor, Scott Ritter, the list goes on and on and on and on. We are headed into a nuclear war. Martin Armstrong, which has a computer program called Socrates, and his computer program has never been wrong, says that we are going to war with Russia. A nuclear war. We're going to have one. When will it happen? I don't know. But it's getting closer and closer and closer by the day. World War III has already started.
That's where we at right now. You know, now we don't know. I can't give you a date. Can't nobody give you a date. I can't, give you a date. But we know the season. We know we're measuring this thing properly because this is very delicate. The way we handle this Bible, the way we handle, these teaching, these videos, like you want to be accurate in your teachings, in the things you see, because this is serious business. We're not just, just jumping in this for something to do. There's people that hear these videos, they come and they see the camps and they scared. They want to hear what's happening. Are we at the end of the world? Are you accurate? Were you sent by what they call God? Are you sent by God? People starting to see it. They starting to see the spirit. So we focus on the mixture. These scriptures are like potion. The way you put this thing together, it's like potion. So we ain't playing no games. This is Matthew 24 verse 36. It says, "No man knoweth the day or hour," right? "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." So we can't tell you, Paul, on this day is going to happen, but we can tell you the season that we in. We can tell you that this season was set for an appointed time, and that the end shall speak. Why? By going through the prophecies that's happening throughout the earth and going inside the book and showing you that these prophecies was written 1,000 years ago and it was set for this appointed time, pointing out America is Babylon. Pointing out, well, he just talked about the EU. We can show you the EU, the 7 heads and the 10 horns, the EU and NATO. We can show you Russia ending the whore, which is America. You heard what he just said. There will be a fight between NATO and Russia, not knowing that NATO gonna get with Russia and also get with Britain, and they gonna shoot the bombs over here on the whore. We can take you through that, which gives us comfort. See, the Holy Spirit gives us comfort through knowing these prophecies, because there's a ship that's on its way here for the Lord's elect that's gonna save them up out of this. This is the day of redemption. But see, we can go through the book and put it all together. We got the pieces to the puzzle, and we can see the puzzle put together before we even grab the piece and put it in. That's the beauty of knowing and having the Holy Spirit bring you these prophecies, man. So you won't be puzzled about who go next. We know who go next. We know NATO gonna get with Russia. We know NATO gonna turn his back on America. And look what Trump just did to them the other day. He basically separating himself, and NATO is breaking apart. They don't want no dealings with America right now. So we already know they're gonna get with Russia. They making backdoor deals. Shit, Trump in London right now. You see what's going on in London with the riots? You know, they started locking people. They saying 50 people a day being locked up for making statements on the internet in London, or even reposting tweets. They coming to your door, and they got serious marches going on over there in London. So we all know that everybody gonna turn against the whore. So knowing this season, knowing these prophecies, knowing that this day is getting close, it's extremely important. We can't express to you the importance of knowing these prophecies right now. It's like it's life or death. But as of the days of Noah were, so also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking. That's what we have. People still going on vacation, normality bias, acting like they don't see the news. They're in the airport, they got BBC News on, they're in the airport waiting for their flight. They just jump on their phone and put on something funny. But see, all that's about to be over. It's about to be in your face. And you're going to be left out there in that desert, not knowing how you got there, not knowing where you're going. Ain't going to be no maps. And you looking for water real soon. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And that's when these teachings stop. They're going to shut this down. Brothers, it's going to be too dangerous to hit these streets. So when we go out there to camp, shit, make it at camp, your last camp. You just don't know if we're going to be out there next week. It's moving like that. So we putting all into the teachings, you know, into doing the work, because that dark day is coming when no man can work. If it says 39th verse, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the Son of Man be, meaning the Lord gonna catch these people off guard while they partying. Then shall two be in the field, and the one take it and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch, therefore, for you know not the hour your Lord doeth come. So this is a watching game. This is a patient game. We in it for the long haul. You just not just looking through the, you know, you go to McDonald's back in the day when they really had meat. You know, as a kid, and you got a Happy Meal, you went right for the toy. You know, you forgot about the food. This is not that. You know, you're not just in it for the prize. Ultimately, we're going to get to the prize, but we got to go through the straight gate. This is a long game here. And watching takes patience. It takes time. Steadiness. You got to know what you're watching. You know, dig through the bones. You know, there's a lot of deception out here. You know, Esau know that the real watchers are on the scene, so he's trying to throw off the eye salve. Like, you can't fool the men of the Lord. You know, you may get certain videos, might be AI, whatever, but we pass through that, man. We know what we're looking for, in other words. When you watching, you got to know what you're looking for. There's certain things we're looking for. Certain angles that the world is spinning to, like the time moving fast. We looking for that. So when they came out this summer and said there was July and August of 2025 was the shortest days this year, we looking for that. That pierced our ear. You know, when we hearing the ships up there, when we see everything turning digital, when they talking about putting a micro C-hip in your hand, we listening for that. When they talking about nuclear war, when you're seeing videos like this, and the people are more perplexed, these are things we're looking for, because we're ultimately looking for our Lord Yahushua to return.
Started. How many world leaders have told you this? Not just me. I'm talking about world leaders. Medvedev, all of the spokespeople for Russia, I mean, there's been so many world leaders that have come on and made speeches before their public saying that World War III has already started. It started already, folks. We haven't had the big nuclear blast yet, but that is coming. Because NATO will not accept a defeat in Ukraine. You understand? NATO and the United States will not accept being defeated in Ukraine. So they're going to push the button. They're going to initiate the nuclear war. We are. Not Russia. We are. We have been the aggressor in Ukraine. We are the one that planned the war in the first place. We are the one NATO told Vladimir Zelensky to fight and not sign the peace treaty. There was 5 opportunities for peace in Ukraine. You understand? So don't give me this crap that we're not in World War III. There was 5 opportunities for peace in Ukraine. And Vladimir Zelensky didn't take any of them. This war that is now going on started in 2014 when the United States government under Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Victoria Nuland conspired in the overthrow of the legitimate government of Ukraine. We planned this war with Russia starting back in 2014.
Yeah, that's around when they started.
Don't drink baking soda water before bed unless
waking
you're
the
ready to
bear
stay
up.
hard all night
They
and leave
started
your wife
poking at
dripping
the
like
bear.
a busted fire hydrant.
And in 2014, they started poking at the bear. That was the Lord having them, starting, going into the end time prophecy. Because what Paul is speaking, these is end time prophecy. It does end with Russia. See, we know this. Yes, we are in World War III. They don't have to announce it like an official war, like they would. You know how much fear they would draw. They said we are now in World War III. No, the Lord don't want it that way. This is Revelations 11 and 14. This is accurate. This is prophecy here. The second woe, which is World War II. World War I, World War II, and World War III is documented in the book of Revelations. Okay? This is speaking on the second and the third world's woe. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe that Paul is speaking about cometh quickly. Now, this was given to John 2,000 years ago. He's speaking about these woes, which he didn't understand when he was looking at it. When you read it in Revelations 9, John didn't know what he was looking at, scorpions with fiery tails. John, like, what is this? But he not knowing, he was looking at the second death. This is 2 Peter 3, verse 10. It says, the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night. Now, that's those partying and marrying and giving in marriage. They're going to be caught off guard. All your co-workers, that you probably been dropping a little something here too. You first come into this knowledge, you want to tell everybody. I stopped that. I used to talk to my co-workers a lot, man. You just can't help it when you enter into something like this. You want to run out and tell everybody, but I had the type of plantation at the time, nothing was really coming back, negative on me for it. I used to talk to the owner of the company about it, and some fruit came out of that. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, one of the men at our camp. He's from my old plantation, Kazak Azar. He rolling strong, almost 3 years in his truth now. But I don't say nothing at my new plantation. I don't say nothing there because you mature in this truth and you recognize how serious this is and how dangerous. And the times have changed, since then. This was before the pandemic, So now we in serious times when you got to be on your Clark Kent, But yeah, those coworkers you did drop something on back in the day, they're going to be looking for you soon. Certain family members you might have told, and they're going to be coming back like, yo, what's going on? But the Lord going to catch them as a thief in the night. They took it for a joke. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. That's the bombs. This is World War III. This is what Paul was speaking about. We don't know when the big one going to happen. See, they just thinking it's going to be like a bomb or two, not knowing the Lord going to unleash it's going to be like an overkill to this place, Babylon, and over there where the small hats are. It's going to be an overkill, man. You know, the Lord about to roast this place so much that the earth is about to shake. So other countries going to feel the force of what these nuclear bombs were made for. You know, the Lord said, I created the smith, man, that maketh the waster to destroy. He allowed these scientists to, you know, split the atom and work with the uranium, enrich it, you know, bring the most potent and dangerous part of the uranium to the forefront. Not make it, you know, because you can do things with uranium to where you can use nuclear energy to light up a city, you know, or you can enrich it all the way to nuclear force. But that ain't like turning on a stove knob. You got to know the science of that material. The Lord did that for the final day, for the final destruction, the day of doom. It says, but the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with the great noise. That's those bombs. And the elements, everything is made out of elements. Me, you, your shoes, your car, your children, your animals. Everything is made up out of elements. Look up the table of elements. The elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and all the works therein shall be burnt up. Let me just get this in another version real quick. Let me see something here. Let me read the AMPC. But the day of Yahweh will come like a thief, and then the heavens will vanish away. Now, the heavens that it's talking about is rulership. You know, you have three heavens where Yahweh and his son Yahushua dwells. You have the firmament, then you have rulership on planet Earth. This heavens, it's going into Revelation, the 12th chapter. You know, when there was no more room in heaven for Esau. No more rulership, no more space stations. You know, everything that you look up to and say this is beyond my strength, you know, the Lord is bringing that down. So basically, this is rulership. With a thunderous crash, wow. And the material elements of the universe will dissolve with fire, and the earth and the works that are upon it shall be burnt up. Let me get this in the G and T. But the day of Yahweh will come like a thief. On that day, the heavens will disappear with a shrill noise. The heavenly bodies will burn up. Okay, I don't like that. Let's just try this here. NLT. But the day of Yahweh will come as unexpected as a thief. Yeah, you see that? Because these people gonna be eating and drinking, man. Oh, y'all been talking about this forever. You know, there's always been wars. You know, there's always been riots and earthquakes. And nah, you ain't never seen this amount of things happening on planet Earth at the same time. And then time itself speeding up. We about to go into the end of September, man. You ain't never seen a day like this. Go ask your grandma. But the day of the Lord will come as unexpected as a thief. Then the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise, and the very elements themselves will disappear in fire, and the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment. Yeah. Because we are definitely in judgment day. So this is the beauty of this truth. You know, now with all the brains and technology and prepping skills that these guys got, they can't figure out these prophecies. They're not allowed to go through this book like that. The Lord ain't giving them the insight, but he ain't gave it to us, Akim. He gave it to us, man. And it's a chariot, man, that I showed yesterday. I'm still going. That passed by the sun that made the sun look like a little man. You know how big the sun is? You know what's about to happen? They have no clue what's about to take place, but we do. Giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, Double honor to the elders, a great millstone who told us this truth. A sincere shalom, labakarian, shal yasha Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom. Time is short.